Welcome back to the podcast, you great big legend. I hope you are super. I hope you are duper. I hope you are a super duper in summer because it's summer in Australia and it's bloody nice. Love it when the sun is out and it is shining. I also love the questions that you are sending in mine and Steve's segment called Ask Kat and Steve. Last week we had our first from Bianca, our first question that we answered. And I'd love you to keep rolling those questions in. So down in the show notes, there is an email link that you can send your questions to. And also just topics that you'd love for us to be talking about. And not just us as in me and Steve, but on the weeks that I'm doing solo, which is this week. What do you want to hear? What questions do you want to ask? Maybe you have a situation and you're like, I would love your perspective on this. Let's rock and roll and co-create this together. It's been 5 years, I think maybe 6 years next year, I'll be doing this podcast. So I'd love to keep it fresh and alive and, not like, oh my God, what's she on about now? Let's co-create it together so you can get excited about, oh my gosh, she answered my question and now I have some fresh perspective on some stuff. So yeah, I'd love for you to keep sending in your topics, questions, situations, and let's rock and roll. They can either be for me and Steve or for me solo. So I had a question that was for me on Instagram from one of my community members, Well for Life. And it was a question of how's your perimenopause journey going? And it has been a ride. It has definitely been a ride. And certainly working with Dr. Kirstey Holland, and I'll put her episode where I chatted with her down in the show notes. My journey with her has been a lifesaver. It really, really has. And since seeing her, I have continued to stay in a pretty good place. When I say pretty good place, there was a period of time where I didn't have the progesterone cream that she gave me. Now, when I was working with her, I did this test called the Dutch test, which isn't a cheap test. It's about $500. However, it does test your hormone journey over the last 3 months through a 24-hour testing cycle of your pee and saliva. And then it gets sent off to a lab and they come back with a very detailed report. And I had my follow-up session with her about that report. And it was very clear that progesterone for me had left the building. To which she talks about progesterone is the part of us that really keeps estrogen in check. It's the part of us that keeps us cool, calm, collected. It keeps the part of our body structure where we can still have a waist, whereas too much estrogen is where we can start to feel like we're going fucking mad. That's where I was when I had first seen her, and she had suspected that I had low progesterone, but then was confirmed with the test. So she put me on this progesterone cream that I put on my skin at night, mainly on like the bony structures, and I ran out of it for 2 weeks. And let me tell you, I got very used to before seeing her, I got very used to feeling like shit in my body, constantly bloated, forgetful, foggy, lethargic, low libido. And it just was like, wow, this is shit, isn't it? And was kind of just getting used to it. And then when I started working with her and taking supplements and using these creams, etc., I started to feel very well and balanced and neutral, not symptomatic, but asymptomatic. And I started to get used to that. And when I ran out of the cream, I kind of thought, maybe I'll be all right. Maybe I'm just getting better. And then let me tell you, I had 2 of the worst period cycles of my goddamn life. I bled and bled and bled, and I was taken out and I was popping naprogesic and I was taking days off, bleeding through my pants. It was, very, very heavy. It moved back to a 30-day period cycle. And so, when I caught up with her, I obviously ordered more of the progesterone cream. But my Dutch test results came back as quite low progesterone. And so then as a result, there was an excess of estrogen. And so I went back in those last 2 period cycles, I went back into that feeling like just mad and ragey and crazy and unable to handle my emotions and just angry. I was just angry all the time. Obviously very bad period pain, very moody, and I really didn't enjoy that. So now I'm back on the progesterone. I'll be due for my period next week, so that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I'm not feeling anything at the moment, because when I started to work with Dr. Kirstey, I never, well, one, I went back to a 28-day cycle, and I also was like, oh, I didn't even know my period was coming, and it was nice and light. We realized that when I first started to see her that I was losing a lot of blood every period. And I have had my period since the age of 10 years old, which is just so very young. And so, yeah, we've got my bleeds back to just a normal bleed, not like a super heavy bleed. Yeah, I think I went through like 4 super tampons a day. And she's like, that's not really how it should be or how it has to be. So, in answer to your question, Well for Life, who has answered me this about the perimenopause journey, it is still something that I'm managing and navigating. I think the thing that still gets me off guard, catches me off guard, is the forgetfulness. So I'm taking supplements that are helping my gut health, that are then helping my brain. I'm taking also some supplements that are turning on my brain and giving good fat to my brain. But yeah, that forgetfulness is definitely there, and it's kind of scary, can I say? Even just when I've been interviewed on podcasts and words, I've shared this before, but words that would just be there, or a thought that I had, and I'd be like, oh, cool, yeah, that's the point that I'll make next. And then they ask the question, and I'm like, I've forgotten the point. I've forgotten the point that I literally just had probably 2 seconds before. That still is rocking my confidence, let me say. I feel I feel dumber. Um, I feel like, you know, is this just going to get worse? Um, so that's still there. I'm going to talk to Dr. Kirstey about that. If what I'm on is really, everything that I can be on to help that forgetfulness, if there are other tools or practices that I could be doing. Because I'm asking myself, I'm like, is it just because I'm not present? Is it because I'm overthinking? Is it because I'm overstimulated? Is it because of this, that, or the other? And it just feels different. It's literally it's just blank. It's just blank. And I think, yeah, that's the part that just still catches me off guard. And I don't like it. I don't want to be angry at myself for it. But what I'm doing is I'm just sharing. Like I maybe even drop it into a podcast interview, or I might say to the person, look, this is sort of what's happening for me at the moment. I really hope that it doesn't happen here. But if it does, we just kind of got to roll with it, because that's just what it is. So in terms of the things that I've noticed that have really improved are my mood, my libido, but that also has to do with Jan Beams, this EMDR lady that I've been seeing, because I saw her at the very start of the year, closer to the start of the year anyway, about my beliefs around sex, and how that was still linked to the abuse from when I was a child, and how then it was impacting me and Steve. I'm sure Steve and I will go into that in the questions that so many people have asked about us and intimacy and sex, etc. But I'd say that the work with Jan Beams has really supported the work that I'm doing with Kirstey. So Kirstey has been helping me, like I said, with my gut and with my brain, getting my body back to an asymptomatic place. And then with Jan, she's bringing me back to a neutral state, so I can just look at sex as opposed to sex equals this. Sex means this. Sex and me mean this. So it's removing the meaning. And as a result, yeah, our sex life has been very, very healthy. I know Steve's very happy about that. I'm neutral about that. I'm glad that, I'm not rolling my eyes, or I'm not like, oh, okay, fine. Or I'm not, trying to push him away, or always just moving his hands off my body, which was what I was doing before, which was really where Jan Beams helped me a lot. So that's what I've noticed. I have noticed that I don't have brain fog like I used to. I definitely don't bloat, which is just amazing because my body dysmorphia was epic. And I just was uncomfortable. I'd look at my wardrobe and go, what the fuck am I going to wear? Everything's uncomfortable. I need something to be loose. And then when it would get into the hotter months, I'd be like, oh my God, I don't want to wear anything that shows my stomach. And yeah, the body dysmorphic stuff really was present. And so when that was removed due to getting better gut health and etc., brain health, that dysmorphia just went, oh, guess I don't have to be here. So there's a lot more freedom in that. Like I said, the positives that I've also experienced is my period cycles. They've gone back to a 28-day cycle. Didn't know when I was getting my period, and could work out through my period. But didn't even have to take an analgesic, which was awesome. I'd still feel tenderness, but not like I did before. And like I said, it was only when the progesterone cream was out of the building, as in my home, where I was like, holy shit, I really need that. I actually really need that. So yeah, they are really the main things. I guess Dr. Kirstey's intention is to help women feel vital, and men, because Steve has seen her and he's feeling the best that he's ever felt also. But yeah, I'm on a shit ton of supplements that support my gut, that support my brain. It has not been, a cheap journey. But it's an investment. It's an investment that I was scared to make because I didn't know that it would actually help. And I know that this is what a lot of my clients experience when they look to sign up to work with me one-on-one. It's an investment. It's $5,995 AUD. Just putting it out there super clearly. And I know that that's an investment, right? And there's this want for a guarantee. And when someone like myself, who's been in the game for 10 years, and Dr. Kirstey, who's been in it even longer, 20, 30 years, we know, like we can see what we're presented with, and then we know what to do with that person. And we know how best to support that person. But yeah, I was very nervous, thinking that maybe I'm just going to be that person that cannot be helped. Maybe I'm that person that just won't get the results. But I had heard so many good things about her from dear, dear friends too, that I just thought, fuck it, Kat, invest in your health. And I tell you, it's been fucking worth it. It's been very much worth it, which is exactly what my clients say too. At the end, they're like, holy shit, you should charge double. I'm like, thanks, but I won't. And yeah, I get that some people aren't in a financial position to do this. And that's where Dr. Kirstey has other resources available that are less. It means you have less contact with her, but you can move through some things that can support the perimenopause journey. So it's going well. In terms of your question, well for life, it's going well. I have to stay on top of this. It's not something like I said to myself, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm all right without this cream. Let me tell you, I just fucking wasn't. My estrogen was back in the building, and it's like I could feel it. I could actually feel it start to take over me, which was not enjoyable. So it's something, that I need to stay on top of, that I'm navigating. Like I said, the thing that's probably really still there, not to where it was before, before I saw Kirstey, but it's there. That forgetfulness, that I asked a question and I asked it again, and the person's like, you literally just asked me that. Or my friend voice bites me and I fully forget what she just talked about. And like I said, I'm asking myself, is it because I'm not present? Is it because I'm distracted? Is it because I'm this? And I know the different feeling between distraction, not present, and then something else. And I just know that this is a something else. So I am going to talk to her and see what comes about, because, yeah, maybe this is just what it is and it's accepting it and finding a lot of love and kindness toward myself. Or maybe there's something that can extra support. I will come back to you on that. So all I can say is if you are experiencing any symptoms that, if your meditation, your journaling, your swimming, your exercise, your whatever it may be that you would usually do that brings you back to your core, aren't working, and these symptoms persist, and you're 35, you're from the age of 35, please listen to your body. Please listen to your body. Please listen to maybe that intuitive sense that's like, something's just not quite right. Everything that I'm doing isn't working. And because that's what happened to me. I was trying everything that I had in my toolkit and it just wasn't fucking working. And that's pretty scary when you got a pretty big toolkit. But I just needed someone else's tools and knowledge and supplements and all those kinds of things. If that's you, like me, I wanted to, at first I just thought, I'll accept this. This is just how it is. And I'll wait till I'm 40 and I've got real symptoms, whatever the fuck real symptoms are, because these were pretty damn real. Know that if you go to your general practitioner, if they typically don't have a holistic viewpoint, they will probably say, do you have irregular periods? No, I don't. And if you don't, but you have all these other symptoms, then you may not be taken seriously. You may think, maybe I'll just wait it out a little bit longer until my periods are irregular. But all the while you feel like you are losing yourself. You feel like you're going fucking mad. You are raging like a demon. You are forgetting stuff. Your body's blowing out. You just don't feel the same. Then please look up perimenopause. Do research on perimenopause. Fucking chat GPT perimenopause. Look up free clinics or free information on perimenopause. Research podcasts on perimenopause. Search up Dr. Kirstey Holland and see what she has about perimenopause. It's either free or of low price, or if you're like, fuck it, I'm going to invest, then invest. I know a few of my friends have now are working with her, again, all in perimenopause time, and they are so freaking thankful that they are. So just please listen to your body. Your body's talking to you. I never knew perimenopause existed. I just thought, cool, got my period, I'll get my menopause when I get it, and that's it. So I didn't even know this was a phase of life. I didn't know it was a phase of life until I fucking knew it was a phase of life. And it was a hard one to navigate and to accept and to think that I was worth kind of investing in. But let me tell you, I'm just so glad that I did. And I know other women are so glad that they did. And look, you will get differing viewpoints, etc. But from what Dr. Kirstey Holland told me is that in perimenopause, it's usually progesterone that leaves the building. And so it's usually progesterone. Progesterone is what women need. In menopause, it's usually estrogen that's left the building. And so that's where they need hormone replacement when it comes to estrogen. That's the real information that she's wanting to get across, because a lot of people are being given estrogen through perimenopause and they're not getting better. But hey, I'm not the medical practitioner. I take my word from her. I trust her. I have gotten much better through her care. And that is a message that she's always said, Kat, if you can say it, keep saying it, because that's often a misconception. So, yeah, that is the journey. Constantly ongoing, but isn't it all? It's a constant journey in regard to our authenticity. It's a constant journey in regard to our self-love. It's a constant journey in perimenopause, menopause, fucking teenagehood, wherever you are in your cycle of life, right? We're always cycling through different cycles of life. And yeah, this is definitely a cycle that I have to stay on top of. And if anyone out there is listening to this and you're like, holy shit, I think I need to look into it, listen to that part of you. Listen to that part of you, because like I said, your body's talking, your body is speaking, and you're the one that has agency over your body. So thank you for the question. Well for life. I appreciate you asking the update so I can share these updates with you. And like I said, whatever questions, topics you have, it can be about perimenopause, it can be about dating, it can be about my business, it can be about money, it can be about really, of course, I'm going to act in integrity. And if it's something that is something that I don't have great information on, I'll be honest about it. But I think you guys know me pretty well, and and my life and the areas that I have nailed, I am nailing, or I'm in the practice of starting to nail, and I know I will always speak from that honest place. So yeah, I'm loving these questions. I'm loving your contribution. It feels, I feel really close to you when you do send these questions in. So keep sending them in, because yeah, they're filling and fueling my heart. Once again, thank you for listening to today's episode of the Real, Raw, Relatable podcast. I hope you enjoyed it and that you got something good out of it. If you did, rate the podcast, rate the episode, send us your feedback at info@catjohn.com.au. Yeah, just share with us how it's landing, and also share it on with someone who you know could do with hearing today's message. Today's message was recorded on the traditional lands of the Bun Wurrung people, and I pay my respect to their elders past, present, and emerging. You can check me out at catjohn.com.au and all the work that I do and how you can get involved in one-on-one coaching, group coaching. If you want me to speak, there's some great ways that we can absolutely connect, and also in community events, which I'll be running again in 2025. So that's catjohn.com.au. And yeah, let's journey together back home to our true, authentic selves. Lots of love from me to you. It'll be me and Stevie B next week in the segment Ask Cat and Steve. And also, if you haven't read my book, this is an amazing time to buy my book. Put it on your Christmas wish list. Or if you're like, I don't want to give my parents shit presents anymore, or I don't want to give my whoever crappy gifts that they're probably not going to like. If you reckon they need to read my book, Authentic, Coming Home to Your True Self, it is a great idea, a great Christmas idea, and something that they can take into their new year as well, in the hope that they can lead a life that is more true to them, right to them, good for them, at the level of their heart and the level of their soul. That would mean the world to me, and I'm sure to their own growth and evolution. Lots of love. Take great care in the meantime, and I'll see you in your squeaky clean earballs next Monday. Lots of love. Peace be with you.